Hi everyone, I'm in uniform again. It's a really somber day as I record this. We're going to be doing another virtual celebration of life for my son Jean Paul. It's hosted by the Hospital for Sick Kids, where he had probably gone there more than 100 times to the oncology clinic, and there's a lot to the story that I'm not going to talk about, but I do want to talk about the idea that for a long time, I think a lot of what I had to do in my life was be strong and be reminded that this too shall pass. Everything, every challenge you encounter, I really put a lot of stock into the idea that this too shall pass. Everything is impermanent. Even our own physical lives, of course, are impermanent. So that bad day, it ends. You keep going. That terrible job, that part-time job with that real asshole of a boss who doesn't appreciate who you are, no matter how good you are. We've all been there, and if you haven't been there, you're so lucky. It passes. You get older, you move along, you maybe change jobs. If it's a permanent career choice, maybe you change departments or you look for a different place. Like, there are things you can control to make those things, to change those challenges in your life. And then also, you can always fall back on this too shall pass. For my whole life. And I don't mind saying that, you know what? I lost my home. I was 21. I wasn't really set and established yet, and you can have your opinion on whether or not I should have been. I was finishing university, and my family screwed up. We lost our home. I got through that. We had family to lean on, my brother, or whatever. I got through that. I had to deal with some really challenging situations as a result of that, financially and otherwise. You want to talk about getting started way behind the eight ball? What are you going to do? People start worse. What are you going to do? This too shall pass. You're going to get through it. You're going to get through it. You're going to get through it. I lost my father. I wasn't like a young man, but I lost my father and I watched him die on my couch, basically. He did end up passing in the hospital, but this too shall pass. You get through it and you support your mom through it and you support your family through it. This too shall pass. The grief attached to that wasn't unnatural. That's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to lose your parents. It sucks, but you're supposed to lose them. And then there's a lot more to it. I don't want to just keep going because, how terrible. I'm not having a therapy session with myself. How terrible, you know? And then there's just the everyday challenges that everybody has. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. You just keep going. You just keep going. And the impermanence is actually a blessing when you're challenged, and of course, a curse when times are good and when you're loving it, right? When you have that beautiful thing in your life, it's going to change anyway. It's going to go away no matter what. That's just how life works. Impermanence. This too shall pass. And this kind of the ultimate everything's going to be okay. And 16 months ago, that stopped being real. That stopped being my reality. There's a profound shift in my whole understanding of the whole world, of the whole everything. And it's not to put anybody or knock anybody down or make you feel sad or make you lie on the ground immobile. Just I don't expect anyone to digest this and become mired in an existential crisis, or I certainly hope not. But the reality is, now, this too shall pass does not apply. Now, everything will be okay. It's been taken away from me. The everything will be okay has been taken away from me. And you can't explain that to anybody. You're either part of this club or you're damn lucky to not be in it. And you couldn't possibly understand it. And that's good. That's good. You do not know what the ocean feels like unless you're swimming in it. Good. You can guess, but it would just be a guess. You can compare it to swimming in a lake. You can compare it to swimming in your freaking bathtub or your pool. But you don't know what the ocean feels like unless you're swimming in it. And that's what happens with this type of profound, profound, life-changing, life-altering grief. And I would have to explain that the people that actually go through it, as far as I can tell, with no disrespect to anybody, they go a little crazy and they disappear forever, or they go a little crazy and they dive into something that really means nothing, but they have to make something. They have to make meaning of something. And then again, you get to this existential crisis, because it's like, what are you doing? You're pecking at a life that needs to have meaning. So what do? I don't know. My problem is I don't know what to do about this. And I would be painted as a very negative person for saying those things. Because the reality is, everybody else who hasn't swam in the sea with us absolutely expects you to get to the point where you're making meaning of all this. Everybody else. And so you either dive in, pardon the conflating of puns there, but you either go for it and you turn your energy inside, because there's a different kind of energy inside of me now. You turn that energy into, like, I'm going to do a charity. I'm going to do whatever, a blood drive every year. Like for Jean Paul, we want to do a toy drive every Christmas and a blood drive every birthday for him. It's awesome. It really is. And I'm glad that that's kind of what we're going to do. And maybe there's other things in the works. But at the end of it all, while I'm struggling, while my wife is struggling, while Emily, my daughter, William doesn't really, he was too little, but while we're all struggling, Jean Paul's grandparents or Jean Paul's aunts and uncles, maybe too, while we're all struggling, there isn't the ability to just say, this too shall pass. It is never going to pass. And I do have to say something, to be honest, and it's that for all those other people I mentioned, besides myself and my wife and maybe Emily, I don't know, I have to wait till she gets older, but for all those other people, that fail safe, that backup of just saying this too shall pass, being able to be in the worst struggle but have some resilience and say, it's going to be okay. Ultimately, big picture, it's going to be okay. That has been robbed from my wife and from myself, and I'm only speaking from my own perspective. That has been robbed from me. So now, the challenge that I'm trying to face, I'm not trying to distract myself, I'm not trying to lie to myself. The challenge that I'm trying to face is doing something that matters every day, and living a life where I know deep down this too shall pass. It's not true anymore. What do you do when your lived experience directly contradicts what all the brilliant thinkers over the years have tried to put together? Even if we're looking at Buddhism or other culture or other belief systems that want you to accept reality and control your emotional response to it, because that response to a reality that you can't change leads to suffering. And you'll have to forgive my very, very simplistic interpretation there. But so in that case, you're being asked to simply accept. Think about that. Just accept it. And it's not criticism, it's just. And so I'm stuck. To a certain degree, I'm stuck. Because it's going to be okay and this too shall pass is not true anymore. And I got to keep going every day for Emily, and I got to keep going every day for William, and I got to keep going every day for Kara, and I got to keep going every day maybe for me, and I got to keep going every day for Jean Paul. But this will not pass. What do? You stay. Those of you who haven't experienced and don't have to jump in the sea, don't get in the water. Because you don't have to get in the water, actually. That's a bad metaphor. You don't have to get in the water. And God bless you all that you don't have to. And this isn't me feeling sorry for myself. This is just it's like me thinking aloud, right? Stuck in a reality that you don't want to be in. And the people who are in it with you or have a similar reality, like I said earlier. They kind of go a little bit off in one way or the other. This too shall not pass. You carry it with you forever. So all I can do is hope that it's like a set of ankle weights, more like a vest, a weighted vest maybe, or worse. And you just get stronger and stronger to the point where people might not even notice unless they knew me before. People might not even notice that I'm carrying that weighted vest and those ankle weights and probably a backpack full of weights on my back too. Maybe that's the best possible solution to this all is you just get stronger and stronger and stronger at carrying it because it's not going anywhere. And so if you're watching this and you're early in your grief process and you've just found a way to dive into something to make you feel better, please be careful because it might just be a distraction and it might be an unhealthy coping. And if you're years deep and you're thinking, this poor guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about, it gets better. Let me know because I wanna know that, but I don't think it's true. I don't think it gets better. And unless it's been the loss of a child, don't even message me. Don't even comment. So again, if you've stuck with it, this is 12, almost, this is 11 minutes and 20 seconds and counting. If you've stuck with it, it means I struck a chord with you. Okay. I don't want anyone to worry. I just want you to know that that's what this is, a profound shift in reality. And it's a dramatic blessing that I didn't know I had before to have no idea what this reality is. It's so powerful a blessing to not know what this is that you're so lucky if you have a family, if you have, and you haven't had to lose anything like this. And if you have had to lose something like this, you probably understand what I'm saying. So, thanks for watching. It doesn't pass. It's not going to be okay. You get stronger at carrying it, and eventually nobody knows that you're wearing ankle weights.